Okay, a lot of tonight we're going to be talking about what St. Louis can do for entrepreneurs and what entrepreneurs can do for St. Louis. But before we do that, let's talk about what entrepreneurs need. Here at the table to help us with that discussion, Brian Samo, an attorney that works in this space, Melissa Walker, president of Gray Matter, an entrepreneur, also an entrepreneur, Matt McEwen, MD, PhD candidate at WashU, who started a business of his own on accident almost with a discovery you made in the lab, but we'll hear more about that. And Joe Schlafly with Stiefel Nicholas, who I'm going to call you our money man, if that's okay.
Sure.
Talking a little bit about folks who want to get involved and support entrepreneurs. Let's start with those stories. Matt, I kind of picked on you first there. Tell us a little bit about your story, and Melissa too, because I want to know if you're getting what you need in St. Louis.
Sure. So our story is one sort of bred out of the medical school at Washington University. We were working in the lab developing some interesting materials for use in cell culture and happened to find a way to make a material that advanced wound healing and provided better tissue repair in surgical settings. And we went outside and founded Retectix, and Retectix is now looking to commercialize the first line of nanofabricated surgical meshes that will improve patient outcomes and also make it easier for surgeons to do their jobs.
I think I understood easier for surgeons to do their jobs. Other than that, you may have been over my head, but nevertheless, this is something radically new that you stumbled upon and now you are turning into a business. Can you do that easily in St. Louis?
I believe so. I think St. Louis has all of the key resources you need to start a business. And even though it might be a little bit more of an undercurrent, things that people don't really appreciate as much, I think all of the pieces, all of the components are here. And St. Louis is a great place to start and grow a company, especially in the biotech sector.
Melissa, tell me a little of your story, and then I want to know what those components are that Matt's talking about.
My story is born out of a need just like Matt is. I'm a regulatory professional, which means that I interface with the FDA and other regulatory agencies to get medical products on the market. And it's sometimes it's a difficult path. And as the years went by and more information, more and more products are out on the market, we've been drowned in a massive amount of information, and it's very difficult to then find your way through the maze. So Gray Matter was born out of that frustration of being able to try that. So I applied my technological database management know-how to that, and then Gray Matter was born to bring some order to the chaos.
Okay, so Matt said innovation is possible here, but he talked about some components. What do either of you see those components being, and are they here?
Oh, absolutely. I've been in St. Louis since 1998. I came here to work, and it's been amazing the last few years. It's sort of a hidden secret. St. Louis is a hidden pocket for entrepreneurs. There's so many there's some med schools, the things that are coming out of the med schools. There's so many willing people to help, and it's kind of an unadvertised, wonderful place to start it. Arts Grants, which we were fortunate to be one of the first in the first class of Arts Grants, gave us a big boost. They have done a whole lot for advertising. They're pulling a lot of interest into St. Louis, and I think it's going to take more of those kinds of efforts so that other people will know what we already know.
Arts Grants to the folks who will give you $50,000 to come start your business here.
Right.
Brian, go ahead, Brian.
Sure, and to continue on that point, so I am a business attorney, but I was lucky enough to get involved with Arts Grants early on and work with many of the winners. And recently, Sarah Spear of Arts Grants and Jerry Schlichter, the chairman, approached a group of people to help put together a friends group to go out in the community and reach out and get people that might not otherwise be associated with the entrepreneurial community involved, engaged, helping entrepreneurs. And so that group's in the early stages now, but we plan on canvassing the greater St. Louis area and giving an access point to St. Louis citizens who want to help entrepreneurs grow, get connected, provide resources any way they can. So it's, again, Arts Grants is a great connector of resources and other means.
What else? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Arts Grants is really providing and supplementing a lot of the great resources that St. Louis has, specifically in talent, in an educated population, in early stage funding, and in just general space and square footage for entrepreneurs to test out their ideas. And I think those are some of the key elements that are needed to further sort of spur on this entrepreneurial boom, I think, that is slowly coming at St. Louis.
But it takes a lot. It takes a lot of things like the T-Rex, providing incubator space, like the Center for Emerging Technologies. That it takes those kind of organizations and groups of people who want to provide this, because it's not just an automatic. It has to be people that are willing and really wanting to grow things in St. Louis. And it's everything from accounting to legal services to all of the pieces that go together to make your company successful.
And money.
And
So
money.
one thing that's been notably absent from the discussion here is, I couldn't agree more as a venture capitalist, is that this extraordinary network of support and incubation is actually the best in the Midwest. And a little history. The Midwest was the industrial capital of the world for most of the 20th century. The Midwest, including St. Louis, fell asleep in 1970. And we all hung to big manufacturing, steel, and all the heavy manufacturing, while the information technology just took off like a rocket, and that was in Silicon Valley and elsewhere. We are at an amazing moment in time in St. Louis, because that technology, which we've heard about, is decentralizing Silicon Valley. And St. Louis, in our judgment as a venture capitalist, is poised to take huge advantage of that because of the great entrepreneurs who are here. I co-founded Arch Grants. And the reason is because the perception of St. Louis, and perception is reality, is that we're a Rust Belt, asleep, river city, and it's not known. The fact of the matter is that some of the greatest innovators in history have come from St. Louis, and we're entering a new stage. And the big thing we're missing is capital. Because human talent follows capital. It's not the other way around. There are more Missourians, I mean, you take Twitter or other people, and Midwesterners working on the West Coast than people who were born out there. And why do they go to the West Coast? They have to, because there's capital there to invest. Now, in St. Louis, over the last decade, we've had more and more people come in off the sidelines as high net worth investors. And they've been disappointed, because I love healthcare investing, that's what I do. It takes a long, long time for healthcare to mature. But the entrepreneurial revolution has been going on here for a great deal of time, and it's now really taking off, and IT is the absolute inflammatory boost.
Anything else that's working? You mentioned IT, besides medical, what else do you see working as a sector, or as what is working for entrepreneurs like yourselves?
Ag tech is working big time. We are naturally, in St. Louis, an agricultural center, and have been for a century or two. The Danforth Plant Science Center is the best research center in the world. We're bringing a rubber company here from San Diego. It's going to make natural rubber, zero production in the United States. It's going to be built here, and the crops will be here, and it turns into natural rubber. There are things happening in agricultural technology, and the street is waking up to it. So that.